Good morning, friends. Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal and Adab. This is my 234th video, and this video will be covering a very new chapter in my listing of the videos. This will go under section my serial number 30, pleadings for various notices issued by the department. Now let's say this is KLP. What is KLP? How many people understand? Key location point. Now this is a very sensitive mathematical working which has to be done for every cantonment. So how this KLP is to be calculated and how it has to be made. So there was a letter written by the Government of India Ministry of Defence number 11011 of /1 of 1902, 4th February 1992. The process and finalization of land acquisition cases. Now these, if we read these letters, post 1947, most of the letters say everything after 1947. But somewhere down, the ministry is very smart. It writes it will be even to the pre-1947 working. So KLP for every cantonment needs to be calculated. Now it says any new military station alone which existed and not already existing during the British cantonment, there has to be a board proceeding, and it mentions some 4 stipulations for the same when acquisition proceedings have to be initiated order. Now what does it speak in its 4th para of Annexure A1? We straight go from the letter to its annexure. So this annexure is speaking, let's discuss para A, sub para 2. In respect of any existing station. Now the word used is existing station. Now acquisition was being done for making of a station. Now we fall within this, the word existing. What has the station commander or the board proceeding to do? It has to approve the KLP for the station. Let's say my cantonment Ambala. Now KLP has been revised from the 1947 order to 2000 order of requirement. What was the present status and what is after the revision? How much of approved KLP has been achieved? In what time the same will be achieved? Let's say there is an acquisition or there is a land pool of 9,000 acres. How much is required? When will it be accomplished? Let's say today we are not using, there is surplus land, but we will use it in the next 4 or 5 years. This is how it has to be planned. There has to be a specific purpose for the OGBs in the leasehold if required, whether they are being required for MAP or the OTM projects. This is very important. How much land is already available has to be calculated by these board proceedings. Can the same requirement of land be achieved from already land within the cantonment? Now why cantonment here word used? Why was it not used military station like we have in Bathinda, we have in Chandi Mandir? These are not cantonments. The cantonment law is not applicable in these areas. There are some number, about 60-70 military stations after independence. So there has to be a plan and budget. Have these requirements been approved by the ministry? What is the expected expenditure to make this MAP, OTM or requirement? What will be the yearly budget if this project has to be rendered for next 3 years or 4 years? The urgency clause is needed to be in flux. Let's say we need it immediately. So under the Land Acquisition Act, either 4, 6 or 12 can be in flux. So these chapters are all there. But no cantonment, no station commander, no defence state officer is willing to render this KLP calculation and this order of 1992. I have a report of 1993 made through this order of Ambala Cantonment, where the then DG lands with the station cell said that Ambala is holding some surplus lands. But even after 1992, we continued with our assumptions. I am a victim after 1992. So friends, please read these. When you get resumption notices, this KLP is a very important pleading. Now, where is this written? It is written in volume 2, chapter 25, hiring and requisition and acquisition of land, page 839. Read it. Calculate the KLP for your cantonment. Now, I'll show you through a data how KLP is calculated. So, there is a calculation sheet which says, let's presume that there is a requirement, there is a posting or there is a holding of 20,000 officers in your cantonment. Okay. Now, I'll convert this into 80,000 purposely because I need to compare this data with the new KLP calculation of this was the old system of 1971 through the orders of the then CPW. So, let's say if there is a force of 80,000 officers posted in Ambala cantonment, the requirement would be about 9,992 acres of land. This is what the KLP unit including married accommodation and stores. Now, other requirements. What is the other requirements will be required? Let's say married accommodation for defense civilians, it will be about 80 acres as per a mathematical formula. Separated family quarters, 160 acres. Storage first time line, trans ammunition is about 600 acres. MES installations will be about 495 acres. So, this is how it is showing. MES personal accommodation would be about 112 acres. Civic town centers, community centers, various would be about 244 acres. Open space area, play fields will be about 1,592 acres. Central amenities will be 736.56 acres. And arterial roads, class C lands roads would be about 1,592. So, the total sum up comes of A and B is about 15,603 acres of land is required. Now, it even says that we will be reading requirements for schools, sewerage disposals and unabilities of built up areas. This has been worked out to 400 acres. So, the total requirement as per the 1970 order would have been 16,000 acres for 80,000 troops posted in Ambala. Now, let's compare it with the new KLP which is written in the same book. 80,000 people, the KLP requirement would be approximately 5,162 acres. Civic town applicability would be 160 acres. Similarly, we have the total space areas of the total population will be approximately 560 acres. Play fields for the total population will be 480 acres. Amenities as per the actual military strength would be 360 acres. So, the total KLP here is calculated to 6,722. And what was the original KLP calculated there? It was 9,920. So, this new KLP is reduced. Okay. So, now what is the less land acquired as per the 1972 is 500 acres. Now, balance requirement nutshell would be 6,200 acres. So, look at the difference, 9,900 acres and 6,200 acres is practically 3,800 acres of land would reduce from the same number of troops, less 41% of the serial 6. Now, this was the balance. So, again minus 2,600 acres from it because it is reduced. So, it comes out to 3,622 acres. Now, we add less The defense land acquired is approximately 1000 acres. Surplus plus excluding ranges of land is about 2621 acres. So the land requirement for ranges, now let's presume, is going to be for classified ranges is 600 acres. For grenade ranges is going to be about 200 acres. And for holding for these ranges is going to be, the surplus amount is 300 acres. So when you take the deficiency with the surplus of these columns of land requirements for ranges, it works out to be approximately 500 acres. So special requirement for AD they say is going to be nil, for OD is about 5 acres, and for WES is about 2 acres. So the total land required for 80,000 troops as per the new KLP is 3,128 acres, and where we were working out to be approximately 16,000 acres. Just imagine, who's calculating these KLPs in your cantonments? Nobody. Why? Why the department is shying away from this report? Why aren't we people asking for this report from various station commanders or the DOs in the courts? Guys, please understand, your resumption notice cannot be fought only by proving yourself or asking yourself or pleading yourself that we are owners. We have to plead KLP. And we have to submit to the court that land is surplus in my cantonment. They do not require my bungalow, which is an old grant. This is a pleading. So please understand. Don't just become consultants. Read it. Once again, I am saying we are old grants. We were never converted into new grants by the British, because we were revenue free grants, and they kept us in the GLR written that we are old grants. Thank you. Good day.